And let me just apologize because the first time I made this chapter 11, apparently it cut out halfway through, and that means all those people who've watched it didn't get to see the hear the last half of chapter 11. So I hope they come back. But this is D&D book number 12, Feed My Sheep in Jesus' Name, chapter 11. Jordan sighed deeply as she watched the group of people in the back hall of the high school gym. They were all standing around waiting to be called to line up. Except for herself, pretty much everyone else was standing and milling around and talking to each other. Their group was a large one. When it was time, they would all line up and usher in to the seats across the front of the podium on the floor of the gym. Mayor Bradbury and his wife, John Apple and Chaz Stewart, with Melena and Charlie, Matthew and Erilyn. And both Jody Apple and Lisa Stewart and her newborn twins were currently at the Tanner house, helping Mrs. Tanner, who'd just been delivered to the house by her husband. He'd been assured that Jody and Lisa can take care of her and her new babies until Mr. Tanner, Gabe, and his sisters can return. Also in the back hall waiting to line up was Jordan's mom with Josie and Jamie, and Rebecca Murphy with Lucas and Peyton, and Mr. Tanner with Iris in his arms, next to Gabe, Heather, Nolan, Rose, Violet, Daisy, and Lily. Mark and Bella Adams with JoJo, Logan, and Emily, and then Joey and Breeze Adams with Sophia, Kelston, and Ledger, Grandmaster Kino and Shelley Kino and their 5, Nate, Noah, Abraham, Manny, and Angelina. And there was Cam and Jeffy Wallace with their new Elijah. Then Toby Nash, Caroline, Grace, and Brody Smith, and with them were 2 country icons, Luke Harrison and Bryant Zachary, and then were Ricky Kino and Brianna Adams and Taylor and young Eric. And Jordan will walk in with him only because she's on crutches and he wants to be sure she's okay, rather than walking in with her family. After them will be the introduction of 10 of the UGA baseball team. Everyone will walk in with their family grouping, but then the young adult-type people will sit off to one side in a row, while Peyton and the baseball team will go sit on the other side in a row. So that meant young Eric and Jordan, Gabe and Taylor, Logan and JoJo, Brody and Grace, Daisy, Lily, and Violet would sit off to the right of the main group, and the baseball team would sit off to the left of the main group. Jordan sighed. In her line of vision were some amazing people. Rose, who at only 23 years of age was so amazingly competent in what she was doing, and her sister Violet, who was an accomplished pianist and so good at getting children to sing, and Daisy, a computer expert, and Brody and Peyton, baseball superstars, Gabe, who is, well, good at everything, including being humble, and Jordan didn't want to leave out Taylor, who fit Gabe perfectly because she too was good at anything she put her mind to, and she was the perfect partner for Gabe. Then there was JoJo, who was going to go pro, but taking his injury all in stride. And Logan was a musical genius with a voice that could melt butter. Her eyes shifted back to Lily, who could cook as if she'd been doing it for 40 years. Of all those people, Jordan's mind settled on Lily. She was beautiful like her sisters and mother, but sweeter than everyone. So very sweet and kind and motherly. As if she could sense Jordan thinking about her, Lily turned and smiled. Jordan smiled back, and Lily came to her. "How you feeling, you gorgeous girl?" Lily said. Jordan blushed, because next to Lily, Jordan felt very plain. "I'm good," Jordan replied. "Does your foot give you any more pain?" Jordan shook her head. "Not really. Every once in a while, if I stand up for too long." Lily reached over and gently touched Jordan's head. "What you went through, Jordan, when that guy attacked you, bless your heart. You were so strong. I think I would have just collapsed in fear or exhaustion, and I'd probably be dead. But you, Jordan, you fought him so hard." Jordan gave a nervous smile. "Thanks." "Oh, goodness, did I mess up? I mean, you probably don't want to think about it." "Oh, no, it's okay. I don't mind." "Well, anyway, you're so young and so strong and so brave and so freaking beautiful. Young Eric is such a lucky guy to have you." Jordan smiled up at her. "Well, that's very sweet for you to say." Oh, I'm not being sweet, honey. I'm just saying exactly what I think. I wish you and I had time to spend together because I just know we'd be just absolute best friends. Jordan giggled. I don't know. I can be pretty, crude, I guess you could say. Lily laughed. Oh, can't we all? So, Lily, let me ask you something, Jordan said. Lily knelt down so Jordan wouldn't have to keep looking up. Okay, shoot. What do you want to do? I mean, what are like your life goals? Lily's eyes opened wide. Wow, that's a loaded question. Let me see if I can say it in a few sentences. She said again as she thought. Well, I mean, my main thing is I love God and I want to serve Him. And then I love to cook. And I've thought about opening my own restaurant or diner here in town. I would just call it Lily's or maybe Lily's Place. But that's just what I'd work on until I find the love of my life. Really? What do you mean? Well, I mean, the most important thing to me, the most value I could have, in my opinion, is not to be a brilliant businesswoman or a brilliant restaurateur or even a brilliant chef. The most valuable thing I can do is to raise a family and make the happiest memories with them that I can make. That's real life. Wow, I mean, that surprises me, Jordan said. Why? Well, because you're so beautiful and so talented. Am I? But really, what does that have to do with anything? If I am what you say, I'll use that to be the best wife and mom ever. If I can create what my parents have created, then that is when I'll feel like I'm doing something fulfilling. Our family, our giant family, we are so happy when we're together. When Heather comes home and Gabe comes home and we're all together in a family dinner, it's like, oh, I don't know, it's like pure heaven. The love is palpable. The laughter is never ending. Of course, Gabe has a lot to do with that. But still, we all know it can't last forever. Heather's going to get married and go away again. We're all going to find someone and get married and move to our own homes. The family dynamic, as we know it, is going to change. Lily sighed. So the only way to hold on to that is to let it go and start a family of my own and be the best wife and the best mother I could ever be. Of course, I'll have to find a mate who believes like me, whom I can trust to share my faith and my hopes and my dreams. Someone who'll help me make all this happen, make a family that is heaven to be around. It's going to take a special guy. Oh, Lily, what you describe is so beautiful. She smiled. Right? Jordan giggled. Yep, I can see Gabe in you. Well, I'm not making light of it, though. I really feel like the most value I can add to this world is by creating an amazing family that does what my current family does, which is spread the light of Jesus throughout the world, teach people to pray, feed 5,000. Jordan nodded. Lily went on. And aren't you so lucky that you found someone like young Eric? Someone you trust to love the Lord and to always strive to do what's right? He is so strong and not afraid, and he loves you to distraction. Jordan smiled. That's what I'm worried about. Lily frowned. What? Jordan shook her head. I didn't mean to say that. I'm just thinking out loud. I may have shared too much. Lily looked into Jordan's eyes. Oh, sweetie. Maybe you need to share. Maybe that's why I got such a strong feeling to come over here and talk to you. Jordan swallowed, trying to keep her eyes from tearing up, but wasn't very successful. She shook her head. Talk to me, Jordan. I won't judge you. Jordan blinked and looked into her angelic blue eyes. When 3 and I met, excuse me. When 3 and I met, I was going to college, thinking I was going to get a business degree and open a June Flower Keno Wallace Wellness Center. I was going to college on a softball scholarship, which I worked very hard to get. I think 3 liked me because I seemed to have my act together. I think he liked me because I was strong and standing on my own and trying to take care of my mother and sister and brother. though I wasn't doing the best job of that. At least I was trying. I think he liked that I had goals and plans for my life. She stopped and sniffed and wiped at her tears. And then all kinds of things started to happen, things that changed my perspective. And now here I am, not even sure if I can rehab and keep my scholarship, not sure if I even want to not sure if I even want to continue on in college. I really struggled with my grades. Dr. Kino helped tutor me, and I passed my exams, but truly, it was a huge struggle and not one I want to repeat. Lily nodded. Okay, but do you think it might have been a struggle because of all the things you were going through? Jordan sighed. Maybe, but I've lost some confidence. I might not be as smart as I once thought I was. Oh, Jordan, I can tell that you have a brilliant mind. I can tell that you're a deep thinker. Jordan shrugged. Or maybe it was just too hard and I can't do it. Lily nodded. Okay, then, let's pretend that's true, just to save an argument. And so, what does that mean? You mean you might want to drop out of school? Yes, or maybe change my major. I wanted to open a clinic because my father died of cancer, and it seemed noble, I guess. But now I'm not sure if my heart is in it, and if it's not, I'd be miserable. So I shouldn't do it. But if I don't, will 3 think that I've just gotten lazy? Will he think I wasn't the person he thought I was? Should I just force myself to go to college and hope I can make it through somehow? No. Oh, wow. You answered that fast. Lily smiled. Because I know that living a lie is never the right choice. Look, I know I'm young. I'm too young to give sound advice, probably, but God sent me over to talk to you for a reason, and that's the one thing I know, that you can't live a lie. You can't try to become someone you're not to please or impress someone else. And Jordan, young Eric loves you for you. I'm sure of that. I've known him since I was 4 years old, and he was just 2, and I tried to get him to sit on my lap. Jordan smiled at the thought. He was like the opposite of me. I was blonde and blue-eyed. He was dark-haired and had those beautiful dark eyes. I was quiet and shy, and he was loud and brave and even flamboyant. And I thought he was the cutest little guy in the world. But the point is, I've watched that cute little boy grow up into a gorgeous hunk of a man, and I've watched him go through many girlfriends, but no one, not one, has been like he can't live without them. Only you. And I know him well enough to know that because he loves you, he wants only your happiness. Jordan smiled. And if you're not happy going into business, then figure out what makes you happy and do it. Jordan sighed. But what if what makes me happy is the thought of just living with Eric, loving him, having his babies, doing his laundry, playing ball with the kids, cooking them dinner, helping the kids with their homework. Is that job of being wife and mother, is it valuable enough for him to even want me? Lily's brow furrowed. Valuable enough. Are you asking if what you offer has value? So, Jordan, are you talking about money? Are you thinking maybe that because you won't be bringing in a paycheck, then you're not valuable? Jordan shrugged. Maybe. Jordan, you have to know that he doesn't give 2 figs about you making money. I mean, he wouldn't stop you if that's what you wanted to do, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't count your value by how much money you can bring in. And to be brutally honest, he's heir to a billionaire, and he sure doesn't need your darn money. But what if he thinks I'm with him for his money? I mean, if I had these plans to go to college and open a clinic, and all of a sudden I don't want to do that anymore, it looks like I've decided to let him support me. Wow. Well, first, what's wrong with that? Lily said. He can support you easily, and you would take care of him and his children in ways that only a good wife and good mother can. Jordan, if you were only with him for his money, well, don't you think he could see through that? I mean, he's really smart. Jordan nodded. Oh, yes, of course. I guess he could. She laughed. He recently told me that he's fairly intelligent. Lily snorted. Well, fairly is an understatement. Right, and so maybe he'll realize what a dolt I am and go find someone smarter. Jordan, my sweet new friend, you are not a dolt. You are bright and beautiful and loving and kind and down to earth and perfect. I don't know you well, and even I can tell that you are perfect for Eric. Jordan bit her lip as she thought. That's what he'd said many times, that she was perfect for him. Lily smoothed Jordan's dark blonde hair. I think you need to share these thoughts with him. Or if you can't share with him, then talk to Grandmaster Kino or to young Eric's dad, or even better, his mom. Jordan nodded. I think you're right. Lily smiled. And then you have to call me and let me know how that discussion went. Jordan smiled. I will. She looked past Lily as young Eric approached. He smiled at her so kindly. Hey, 2-3, are you okay? I looked across and saw your face and you had a pained expression. She nodded. Oh, I'm fine. Lily and I were just talking and I got a little choked up. He knelt down in front of her and cupped her cheek in his large hand and brushed a bit of moisture with his thumb. And Lily smiled. Ah, to be so in love, she moaned. It's kind of sick how mushy you two are. Eric chuckled. I can't help it. She's messed me up for life. I love her and I can't stop. Lily looked at Jordan pointedly. Okay, everyone, Rose said. We have almost 600 volunteers sitting in the bleachers on the east side of the gym, and they've all been treated to donuts and water and are anxiously awaiting getting to meet the amazing people who are making this happen. So, everyone line up like you were told, and I'm going to go in and start the meeting. Yes, ma'am, several people chirped. Rose marched out and stepped up onto the podium and placed her papers on the lectern. The people were already applauding, and she hadn't even spoken yet. She looked up a second, asked for the Holy Spirit, and then smiled at Isla and began to speak. Hello, everyone, and thank you for that kind welcome. Welcome to Pine Forest, Georgia, and right now to Pine Forest High School. We are excited to get started with this meeting. I'd like to open with prayer, but before we do, let me introduce the people who have come together to help make this happen and bring them out. The first person is a man who has a very big vision for our little town. He puts in the work to grow this town, and he's seen it grow by leaps and bounds, and he's seen that people are deciding to stay here rather than rush off to the big cities. I'm grateful that when I told him about what I'd like to do, he assured me immediately that we could make this happen. So everyone welcome Mayor Bradbury and his sweet wife, Adrienne Bradbury. The mayor and his wife walked out and waved at the applauding crowd and went to their seats. And next, a member of our city council, owner of Apple Martial Arts, based right here in Pine Forest, part owner of the Pine Forest Country Inn, a former Marine Raider, though I know that there is no former, once a Marine, always Marine. Oorah, someone yelled out, making everyone laugh. Master John Apple. John walked out, waved, and stood in front of his seat. And John's wife, Miss Jody Apple, couldn't be here because she felt strongly that she needs to be at my house with my mother, who just gave birth to twins on Monday and just got home today. I'm always grateful to the people over on Country Road 182, recently renamed Country Inn Lane. Our neighbors are awesome. Also, let me just mention that the Apple's only child, Jacob Apple, is currently deployed in Afghanistan and is the youngest Marine Raider on record. She smiled at the standing ovation. Jake is married to our other neighbor, Melena Stewart, who graduated from Pine Forest High School and helps to run the Stewart Ranch and is starting an equestrian business, teaching kids to ride, and also will be opening a boarding barn and stable business. Melena walked out. Next, Lena's father, another Marine, another member of our city council, older brother to our county sheriff, our friendly local rancher and supplier of the best organic grass-fed beef, father of 6 amazing children, Charles Anthony Stewart III, known lovingly as Chaz. And with him are Charlie IV and Matt and Erilyn. As the Stewart family walked out, Rose continued. The Stewart mom, Lisa Stewart, and her two new additions, Jonathan and Lachlan, are not here with us because they too are with my mother, helping her. Because, that's what us folks do in Pine Forest. We help our neighbors. Lisa Stewart, many of you may not know, is the owner of a large hotel chain, Golden Hotels. She is also the co-owner of the Pine Forest Country Inn and Cottages and the new Pine Forest Town Inn coming soon. It was Lisa Stewart's vision when she first moved here 20-something years ago to open the inn so that people who live in big cities can come and experience the nostalgia and the warm fuzzies of living in a small town. And we love her for that vision. Next is a new friend of ours, Ms. Jewel Brooks, who is a dear friend of the Kino family and now a dear friend of ours. She is opening a restaurant just south of Los Angeles and is an amazing chef. She is the mother of 3 gorgeous kids, Jordan, Josie, and Jamie. The eldest of the Brooks children, Jordan, will be walking in later because she's on crutches right now. And let me just let you know that she got hurt when her strong self fought off a serial rapist who'd been terrorizing the UCLA campus, and because of her, he was caught. Please, everyone, welcome the Brooks family. Jewel, Josie, and Jamie walked in. Jordan smiled at her family as they walked out across the gym. And then, sweet 10-year-old Josie tripped over her own feet and fell flat on her face. Jordan gasped, and young Eric started forward, but he was beat out by young Matthew Stewart. The 12-year-old jumped from his seat and rushed to Josie's side. He immediately took her hand and helped her up, and then bent and brushed off her pants at her knees. He smiled up at her. "You okay, Josie?" She nodded and smiled. "Yeah," but I'm really embarrassed. He shook his head. "Oh, I felt like that once in front of the whole school. It happens." He walked her to her seat and headed back to his own chair amidst loud applause and cheers, and he grinned and stood in front of his chair and took a bow. Jordan smiled as young Eric chuckled. "Such gallantry," Rose said, and moving on. Next, we have the Murphy family. Rosemary Murphy was a beloved teacher at Pine Forest Elementary, but vacated her position to become the education administrator at the Gabe Tanner Community Center. We are so happy to introduce her and her 2 children, Peyton and Lucas. Lucas is an incoming freshman at Pine Forest High School. He plays basketball and baseball, and Peyton graduated from Pine Forest High School this past year and is on a full baseball scholarship at UGA. He'll be entering in a moment because he brought along the Georgia Bulldog baseball team to help us. She stopped while everyone cheered for Georgia and waited until they finished barking. Please welcome the Murphy family. Rebecca and Lucas walked across the floor. Next, let me introduce you to my family. My father, Keegan Tanner, also a Marine Raider, who runs the Eastern Division of Ameritech Security and helps run our giant family. My mother, Elizabeth Tanner, or Lizzie Tanner, as you know her on her albums, is a Grammy Award-winning singer, but we think of her as just our wonderful mom. As I've already stated, my mom just gave birth to twins 2 days ago and is at home. But with us are myself, my older sister Heather and her fiancé Nolan Sawyer, my sister Violet, an accomplished pianist, my sister Daisy, who is a computer genius and is helping us out at the center with PR and maintaining the website and being my executive assistant. And also my sister Lily, who is an amazing chef and is currently overseeing the kitchen at the inn, and my little sister Iris, who works very hard at making our family smile every single day. And last but not least, my brother Gabriel, who is, well, too much to say. She stopped talking because she couldn't be heard anyway over the roar of the crowd. She waved her family in, and the crowd actually gave Gabe a standing ovation. He got to his seat, turned toward the crowd as they screamed his name, pointed upward, and then patted his own chest to let them know 2 things. All glory be to God, and he was touched by their show of support. And this made the applause and cheers get louder, and he bowed his head. This amazing reception made Rose tear up, and when the crowd quieted, she sniffed and cleared her throat. Okay, moving along. Next, we have the Adams family. They were born and raised in a suburb of Atlanta. First, Mark Adams, a prominent LA attorney from the firm of Lee and Adams and one-time champion of the Kino Challenge, is here with his beautiful wife, Bella, his 2 famous sons, Heisman candidate and quarterback for the USC Trojans, JoJo Adams, she had to stop again while everyone cheered for the QB. She waved them in to start across the floor and stand in front of their seats. And once the applause and whistles died down, she went on. And JoJo's brother, who is currently in school at UCLA and working on his first album, Give It Up for Logan Adams. Again, she had to stop talking until the deafening applause died down. And let's not forget their little sister, Emily. Rose waited to beat while people awed over and applauded for the beautiful little cherub who executed a perfect curtsy. Okay, moving along, we have another member of the Adams family, Mark's little brother, Joey Adams. She had to wait again. When it was quiet, she went on. Joey Adams, an actor in several movies, the Kino Challenge champion both for juniors for a few years and senior division for 8 years, is currently second in charge at Ameritech Security. With him is his beautiful wife, the acclaimed artist Breeze Adams, and their 3 children, Sophia, Kelston, and Ledger. Once they got settled, she went on. Okay. The next family I want to introduce is really the man who started all of this, though he would never take that accolade because he's such a humble man. But almost everyone here can trace their success or their inspiration back to this man. He started a little martial arts school in his parents' backyard when he was still in high school. That school and those first students have touched millions upon millions of lives worldwide. Of course, I'm speaking of Black Belt Hall of Famer, Grandmaster Eric Kino. She waited again. With Eric Kino are his wife, a native Georgian and Mart champion, Shelley Kino. Shelley is the mother of Brianna Adams. Rose nodded and smiled and waited. And Mark Adams and Joey Adams, and Grandmaster Kino is the father of Ricky Kino. She laughed at how hard the applause got. And together they have Dr. Juneflower Kino. She nodded and waited. And they also have 5 new little ones, which I'm sure, unless you've been hiding under a rock, I'm sure you know how they came into the world. Here they are, Angelina, Noah, Abraham, Emmanuel, and Nathaniel, and the whole Kino family. Eric and Shelley and the 5 children entered and waved and took their seats. So I've already mentioned her name, but let me start again. The next family is the Wallace family. Cameron Wallace played football for Oregon and then became the first Jet, which is a special ops division of Ameritech. He protected Dr. Kino while she was under threat as she put together her medical breakthroughs. He is married to that woman, Dr. Juneflower Kino Wallace, Nobel Prize winner in medicine and healer extraordinaire, and she just had a baby, little Elijah. Please welcome the Wallaces. Rose waited. Okay, calm down. She drew a breath. Next, we're so grateful to know this amazing family. Grammy-winning, People's Choice-winning, heartthrob, Toby Nash is here. She waited. And with him is his amazing and talented wife, Madam of the New York School of Dance and judge and producer of America Can Dance, Caroline Smith. She waited a few minutes. Also with them are their 2 amazing children, a singer with 3 best-selling albums, gospel music's own Gracie Nash, and last but not least, currently playing baseball for Tennessee. She stopped and laughed at the boos, offered in a friendly way. Well, we love him despite who he currently plays for, because who knows, he may end up playing for the Braves one day. Brody Smith. Amidst thundering applause, the Nash family walked across the floor and took their seats. Rose then went on to introduce 2 more country stars, Luke Harrison and Bryant Zachary. Okay, we're almost to the end. Also with us, I'm sure they need no introduction, but I will just say that their whole family is here. Ricky Kino, Brianna Adams Kino, Eric Kino III, and Taylor Kino. And walking in with them is Eric's girlfriend. I spoke about her earlier, the one who fought the serial rapist and was injured, Jordan Brooks. Ricky and Brianna have made over 130 movies between them and are huge philanthropists along with the rest of the people here. Young Eric has just won his first Kino Challenge, and his first movie will be out in 2 weeks. It's called The Resurrection of Elijah Beck. Our sweet friend Taylor Kino is still in high school and is making waves, and her boyfriend, who just happens to be my brother Gabe, is so lucky to have her in his life. Okay, Kino family, come on out. The pros walked across the floor, smiling and waving, tapping their hearts at the huge welcome. Taylor went to sit next to Gabe, and young Eric and Jordan went to sit on the other side of him. Rose went on to introduce the UGA baseball team, and once they were all in and sitting, she called upon Toby Nash to open with prayer. Everyone thrilled to hear the beautiful prayer spoken in the singer's deep Southern voice. It was moving and inspiring. Rose went back to the microphone. Now, everyone, Mayor Bradbury has a message for us all, and then I want you to take out the packet that was given to you when you came in. After the mayor speaks, we will quickly go over the agenda so that everyone knows exactly what they will be doing tomorrow and when and where they will be doing it. Mayor Bradbury, I turn the time over to you. New scene. I am so sorry. It seems whenever I try to read, my voice just gets all clogged up. All right, it is November 27th still, 3 p.m., Wednesday afternoon, Pine Forest High School practice field, Pine Forest, Georgia. Gabe shook his head to the question he'd just been asked, that being, was he going to play some ball with him? Well, it's unbelievable that I had the opportunity to be back playing on this field, and now I can't do it. Sorry, but Jeffy says absolutely no way because I have body trauma or something like that. Anyway, I really want to go home and see my mom, so you guys have fun. Well, we'll really miss your smart mouth, Gabe, Peyton said as Gabe walked away. I love you too, Peyton, he responded, making the guys laugh. Logan and young Eric and Charlie and Matt and Peyton and Lucas and Jericho and two of his guys, Jalen and Max, and Brody and Joey and Mark Adams, and the 10 guys from the UGA baseball team chose up sides. Hey guys, this is touch football, JoJo reminded them. We have a big job to do tomorrow, so don't get hurt. No twisted ankles, no concussions. I'm flipping a coin. Call it, Charlie. Heads, Charlie said quickly. Heads it is. Your team receives. Let's do this. On the sidelines of the females, only Milena braved the cold. Also Chaz, John, Ricky, and Toby stood to watch the action. Gabe got in his father's SUV and headed to the Tanner home. Agent Thompson followed him to make sure he arrived safely. On the way, Gabe called to check on Agent Key. His surgery went well. He was in his room and resting comfortably after he'd spoken to Chief Jason Lee, Deputy Chief Joey Adams, AAIC Dalton, and Division Chief Tanner. Gabe parked and stood outside of his home looking up at the windows and the front door, at the fall decorations, at the right side yard where he'd played a million games of catch with his father or with Peyton. The wind blew, ruffling his hair and making his cheeks and nose red, and he smiled. This earth life, he thought, was wonderful in so many ways. He was alive to experience that cold air. His mother and new siblings were alive and on the other side of that door. His father and sisters were also alive and inside that home. It was such a beautiful feeling. He could almost feel complete. Except he loved Taylor and was desperate to make a home and family with her. He knew he needed to focus on the present moment, though, and so he did. He drew a deep breath. He ran up the steps and inside to the warmth of the family home. There he is, Daisy said to Iris as Gabe came in the door. Iris ran straight to him, and he scooped her up, grunting in pain as he did. He held her off to one side. There, he mumbled, waiting for the pain to subside. Gabe, come and see. Mommy had the babies, and they are so little and so cute. But I thought you are so little and so cute. I'm cute, but I'm not little, she argued. He chuckled. Okay, so where is Mommy? She's in the den. Gabe nodded and headed into the den. His mother was sitting in one of the two big rocking chairs his father had bought for her, and she smiled up at him so sweetly as he came into the room, and he smiled back. Hey, Mom, he said softly, almost reverently. He came forward and placed a kiss on her cheek. Hi, Gabriel, she whispered as her eyes filled with tears. It's been a rough couple of days, huh, Mom? She nodded. It has. But here we are, all together. Gabe looked around. His father was standing behind the sofa, holding one of the babies. Heather was sitting on the sofa, holding the other. Nolan was across the room beside the fireplace, just watching, obviously trying not to be intrusive. Rose was kneeling at her mother's side on the side of the rocker. Violet, Daisy, and Lily were gathered around. How are you feeling, Mom? Gabe asked. I'm feeling wonderful, sweetie. Maybe a little tired. How about your back? Well, actually, I haven't thought much about my back, so I guess that means it's much better. Gabe took his mother's hands and looked into her eyes. Mom, I love you. He drew a deep breath. I love you, and I'm so thankful for you. And I love you, my sweet boy. You are so special, Gabe. I know I've been a lot of trouble for you, and I'm sorry about that. What in the world are you talking about? You've been nothing but joy to me. He smiled and leaned forward to whisper. So, I was wondering if I could speak to you privately sometime soon. Her brow furrowed. What have you done? He laughed. Nothing really, Mom, but it's important. She nodded. Okay, how about when I go upstairs in a little bit? He nodded. Gabe, Rose said, would you like to hold your brother? He nodded with a smile. Oh, I really, really would like that. He stood and carefully took the baby from his sister and stared at his face. He looked up surprised. Oh, he looks a lot like my baby pictures. Yeah, he does, Keegan said. Gabe bounced his knees slightly. Hey there, Isaiah. How you doing, bro? Gosh, you are so cute. So, listen, little guy. I got to figure out a way to get here to see you, 'cause you and me, we got so many cool things we got to do. He stopped talking for a minute and stared into the baby's soft face. Good grief. I can feel your spirit so strong. Oh, wow, Isaiah. Oh, wow. He looked up as his eyes filled with tears. Glancing around at the others in the room, he looked from face to face. Do you feel that? He's so strong. He is so special. Tell us what you feel, Heather prodded. He sniffed and winced a little. It's like the Holy Spirit came through him and into me. It was like strong love, strong emotion, maybe even power. He's amazing. How am I going to be able to ever leave and go back to train? He shook his head in wonder. The baby reached a little fist out, making Gabe smile. He bounced him gently, and after a few minutes of silently communing with his brother, he looked around. Okay, I know I'm hogging him. Who wants him? I do, Lily said softly. Gabe carefully handed the bundle over to her and looked up at his dad. So, can I see Gentian? Keegan handed his daughter over to his son. Hey, sweet girl, Gabe whispered as he leaned down and kissed her cheek. Oh, wow. You too, sis. You're so strong. Wow. I don't know what's happening. Maybe because they're so fresh from heaven. Yeah, that actually might be it. Because I feel like I did when I was in that green field, when I could feel the presence of Jesus. He swayed. Dad, he's here. He's here. As Keegan moved forward toward his son, Gabe handed Gentian off to Daisy. He looked around him in a daze. He felt disoriented, as if he was in a whirlwind, and he couldn't fight it. He clutched at his chest before he went down. Keegan quickly caught him and lowered him to the floor. Should I call 911? Heather asked, her voice in a panic. Hold off a minute, Keegan said quietly. Call Jeffy, Lizzie said softly. Keegan unbuttoned Gabe's shirt to get eyes on his bruises, and everyone gasped at the sight of his chest, because it was pretty much black and blue with some red streaks mixed in. Keegan lowered his head to his son's chest to try to listen to his heart. Daisy immediately snapped off a few pics on her phone. That looks terrible. Dad, is he okay? Well, he's breathing. His heart is beating. Gabe, can you hear me? Gabe lay completely still, his eyes closed, his breathing steady. Jeffy was already on the way, Heather said. I'll go let her in. She went to the front door and opened it as Jeffy and Cam came up the drive and jumped from the car. He's in here, in the den, on the floor. He just passed out. Jeffy came in and went straight to Gabe and dropped on her knees. Oh, wow, she said softly as she looked around. The power emanating in this room is intense. She leaned over and gently touched his forehead, and then she moaned as tears gathered in her eyes. Wow. He's so strong, so powerful. He's here. He's here. The family looked around at each other as they recognized the same words Gabe had just spoken. Jeffy nodded as if someone asked her a question, and she laid her hands on Gabe's badly bruised chest. "In Jesus' name," she murmured. She was breathing hard as if she'd just run a race. Yes, I will," she said. Leaning over as if she were too tired to keep her head up, she laid her head on his chest, her eyes closed, and she, too, was still. Cam touched her neck briefly. A minute later, Jeffy's eyes opened and she rose up off of Gabe's chest, and everyone again made a gasping sound of surprise. A few seconds later, the entire family was weeping, all but Gentian, Isaiah, and Iris, who were awake and seemed to be glowing with light. Gabe sighed. His eyes blinked open, and he sat up slowly. He ran his hand over his chest, and he shook his head. What happened? You were just healed," Jeffy said. "The power of the strong spirits of your new brother and sister, they asked Jesus to heal you, and he came, and he did. I could feel him so strong, and these two spirits are so strong. Wow, Tanner family. I once again have to say that I am so honored to know you, and so honored that God has asked me to take care of Gabe. I feel so blessed." She smiled at the confused look on Gabe's face. "Look at your chest, Gabe." He looked down, and every single bruise was gone. Not even a slight mark was left. "Jesus told me to tell you all that you have borne witness to his healing of Gabe, and that this will help you in the years to come. Remember this day. You saw the bruises. You see that in just a matter of seconds they are no more. He was here. He is real. Remember that when your faith is being tested. Share this miracle with everyone you know." Let me get an after pic," Daisy said. Gabe opened his arms and smiled. Daisy took a picture and looked at it, and her mouth opened wide. You guys, look at this." Everyone gathered around. In the photo was the slight reflection, in shades of white, of a smiling, bearded man just above and to the right of Gabe's head. Someone could simply call it an anomaly, but they all knew to not deny God. And Gabe shook his head. "I don't understand. I am so unworthy." He stood. "Thank you, Dr. Kino." He nodded at Cam. "Thanks, Cam." "Oh, truly our pleasure," Cam replied. Gabe looked around at his family. I'm sorry, everyone, but I think I need to go to my room." He didn't wait for permission, but just turned and left the room. Silently, they watched him go. It was Lizzie who spoke first. "Honey, will you go to him?" Keegan nodded. "Soon. Give him time. He's processing." "Yeah, I think I need to process too," Nolan said softly. "I think we're all going to need some time to process what just happened," Jeffy offered. "Even you?" Rose asked. "I mean, you've been at the center of a bunch of miracles, right?" "I've seen many miracles," Jeffy said with a nod, "and yet I don't think I'll ever really get used to it, at least not while I'm in human form. It's always such a wonder and such a beautiful thing. It always touches me somewhere deep in my soul in a way I can't describe. It's funny, though. I mean, Jesus has shown me time and again that he's real, that God exists, and yet still I'm blown away when I see miracles in action." Keegan nodded. "I think we forget sometimes how amazing God is as we go about the daily process of living and doing mundane chores, interacting with our families, changing the oil in the car, cutting the grass, putting up Christmas decorations, cooking breakfast, going to work. We have to take care of the business of being human, but it gets much easier. The burden gets so much lighter when we see the miracles taking place in our lives, and we are given the knowing that God is real. There is a purpose to life." Jeffy grinned. "Mr. Tanner, you sound so much like my father." Keegan frowned and looked down. When he looked back up, he had tears in his eyes. "Well, that is a beautiful compliment. Maybe I'm doing something right." "Oh, Daddy," Violet said, "in our eyes, you do everything right. We love you so much." He had to clear his throat. I love you too, kiddos. Cam smiled. Awesome moment, Tanners. Thanks for letting Jeffy and I witness it. Heather smiled at Nolan. Life around here is never dull. I can see that. What a special family I'm marrying into, Nolan said. Heather nodded. They are special. Nolan, maybe this is a good time to give them our news. What news is that? Lizzie asked. Heather gave a sly smile. Well, you know the old Buckner Ranch 5 miles east of here? Yes, I do, Lizzie said, and I happen to know about it because Chaz and Lisa just bought the place. Heather smiled. Well, you're right. They did buy the property, and they did it for me. What? Keegan said. Nolan stepped forward. Well, when we came here for Jake and Elena's wedding, Heather got talking to Mrs. Stewart. Heather apparently has always been really close to her because of Heather and Melena both loving horses so much. And Heather was always wanting to take care of Lena and was like a big sister to her. Lizzie nodded. Right, and Heather giggled. And when Nolan and I were complaining about having to go back to Tennessee, the Stewarts told us there was land for sale and we could start a ranch right here in Pine Forest. And at first we didn't take it seriously, Nolan went on. I mean, my father's ranch is supposed to be my legacy, but my father and I don't always see eye to eye on how to run things. He'll still give me my inheritance when the time comes, but he dared me to try to strike out and do things on my own like he did and put my own ideas into practice, and I began to think seriously about doing that. Keegan and Lizzie eyed each other. But you're a veterinarian, right? Lizzie asked. He nodded. Oh, yes, ma'am. But I also helped to run my father's ranch. Anyway, so we talked to Mr. and Mrs. Stewart, and they said they would buy the land before anyone else took it. They didn't want some land developer to get their hands on it. They said we could lease to buy the ranch from them. With mine and Heather's knowledge together, we think we can make a go of it. Rose grinned. That means you're not leaving? Heather nodded. That's exactly what that means. I mean, we'll need to go back up and pack our things and actually move down here. There's a house on the property, but it needs extensive renovations. But we can do it. I know we can. We're not afraid of hard work. Nolan cleared his throat. So, after Thanksgiving, we'll go back to Tennessee and pack up Heather's apartment and my things, and we'll be back before Christmas. I'll move into the house, and Heather will stay here until we're married. It might be a little tight for a while, but I can do this. I can take care of my wife and eventually a family. Keegan sighed. Heather, you and I need to talk about this privately before you leave. Are you upset, Dad? Oh, no, not at all. I'm elated that you two are making this decision. However, there are some things you haven't thought of, and I want to discuss them with you. And Nolan, when I have her permission to share them with you, I will do so. I just can't openly break a father-daughter confidence. Excuse me. So don't take offense. No, sir. I know you always have your daughter's best interest in mind, so I'm not offended at all. Oh, good answer, Rose quipped. So then, Keegan began, have you set a wedding date? Well, not an exact date, but sometime next summer, Heather replied. Lizzie sniffed and wiped back the tears. So, all this means that you'll be here to see your new brother and sister grow up. Heather nodded. I will. Isn't that amazing? I am so happy. Me too, Violet said, as she and her sisters all squealed and rushed to hug their sister. And Jeffy smiled. Well, this is wonderful news indeed. Cam, Jeffy, Keegan began, thank you for rushing over here so quickly. You always seem to come so fast where Gabe is concerned. Jeffy nodded. Well, God told me to take care of Gabe. It's one of my callings, and I do it gladly, because he's special. I know you know that, but I can't stress it enough. Well, you're pretty special yourself, Lizzie said softly. That she is, Cam agreed. Well, I guess I better get back to my own baby, Jeffy said. She bent down to kiss the cheeks of the two new babies, patted Iris's head, and smiled at everyone else. Okay, Tanner family, I guess I'll see you first thing in the morning. Oh, it's going to be so awesome, Rose said happily. Jeffy nodded. I think so too. Acts chapter 3, verse 16. By faith in the name of Jesus, this man whom you see and know was made strong. It is Jesus' name and the faith that comes through him that has completely healed him, as you can all see. And that is the new end of chapter 11 of book number 12. I'll see you soon. Hey, I learned that people who comment, it helps raise the algorithm or something like that. Anyway, they said if I encourage people to comment, that it will make the books more seen. So please do so, or just tell people about the books. Have an awesome, blessed day.